and solemnly swear not to be scared at the prospect of being doubly... sorry about that. Anyway, it's on with Chapter 6X, Mercenary Squad. Just an advance warning, this chapter is short. Very short. In fact, this video is little over 18 minutes long. The actual chapter lasts for 4.5 minutes. Yes, it's that short. Really, really short. Another joke weapon. Oh, another item. Let's see what this is. Right. Oh, another item. That's alright. Alright, now about glass weapons. Glass weapons are essentially silver weapons with only 3 uses. So basically, use them for a really powerful attack, but after that, yeah, they're basically just gone. You can forge them pretty cheaply, but anyway, firstly, we're looking at the map here, and hey, look, that's a familiar face. And there's another one. Yes, Caesar and Rad, being mercenaries who joined us in the last game. They're going to be our opponents here in the mercenary squad. Also on this map here is Roro'd. Yes, we finally get to fight one of the assassins. And yes, unlike Klein in the previous side quest, Roro'd's not going to run this time. And so yes, we finally get to hear Tearing Shadows again. Also, just like the previous side quest, we've got a very low deployment count here. Now, I actually didn't fully choose who was going to go in this time, because I hadn't actually planned my strategy just yet. The strategy I used involved both Sheeta and Cantria. So, at this point, I wasn't entirely sure of it. Yeah, I spent a while preparing for this, because... Okay, let me just get this over with quickly. Caesar and Rad obviously are recruitable. In order to get them to join you, you have to complete the chapter without killing either of them. This is in fact easier said than done, seeing as they're of course enemies, and their AI just loves to kamikaze themselves into your strongest fighters. Not only that, but since the map is so small, there's pretty much no way to get out of their range. They will find you no matter where you are, and kill themselves. So, the fastest way, and I think personally, the best way to avoid killing them is simply to finish the chapter as fast as possible. If you play your cards right, you can finish this chapter in as few as 1 turn. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Yes, that's right, I'm going to be 1-turning this chapter. It required a bit of setup and some luck, and the use of Militia's rescue staff fairly creatively. I was kind of using her rescue staff as a makeshift warp staff. It's a bit of an unconventional use, but you'll see it when I get to it. Basically, it involves clever use of that, clever use of other characters to block off certain squares, and use of flyers to take down Roro'd on turn 1. But, yeah, we'll be getting to that later, because first, let's just rearrange our inventories a little bit. I think Militia's going to need new healing staffs, so she can swipe, Huminas. She also needs the rescue staff. Yeah, fortunately, the rescue staff is E-ranked. Kind of sad how it was once exclusive to one specific character, now any old cleric or curate can use it. We're not going to be doing that much healing in this chapter, so it's fine if her staffs don't have much uses left in them. Right then. Sirius still has the VIP card. Right, now that cancer shard, what I'm going to do here is, I'm going to reorganize my shards. I'm going to put them all in the convoy, and then redistribute them. From now on, yes, I'm going to make a point about redistributing the shards as needs be. Trying to give them to, you know, whoever most needs them. By this point, we have 5 Starsphere shards. Yes, this one's the 5th one. Taking it off Santos, sadly. Well, not sadly, I'm not going to be using him, of course. Right, we have 5. Aquarius, Taurus... Yes, Aquarius is +1 magic, +1 resistance, great for mages. Taurus is +1 to strength and defense. Cancer here is +2 defense, and Libra is +2 luck. Gemini is +1 strength, +1 magic, but That's a little weird. You don't often need that, really. Then again, +1 to magic is always useful. Of course, the mage is getting the +1 magic and resistance. Now, I'm going to give Marth, I believe the... Wait a minute. Firstly, I am going to give, Catria +1 to strength and defense. You know, just strengthening the stats that Pegasus Knights usually aren't strong in. Ryan is going to get another +1 strength, I presume, yes, to make up for his often lack of doubling. And Marth is going to get +2 luck. Wait, or not defense, whatever. Actually, I think, yeah, I swapped these around. Yeah, Marth is going to get the +2 luck just because his luck is actually pretty good anyway, and he kind of needs that. And Mary Sue's going to get the +2 to defense just to make that, just to improve that a little bit. So yeah, from now on, I am going to be redistributing the shards, depending on who needs them at the time. The boosts aren't too significant, but they help. And right, onto the conversations. So apparently, we've got a mercenary group that is awaiting us at our destination. So basically, we are deliberately walking into an ambush. And essentially, Jagan makes no attempt to hide the fact that we're simply doing this just for the free experience. So yeah, according to Jagan, we are running directly into an ambush deliberately for free experience. Right, now there's a whole bunch of supports here too. Finally, Ryan and Mary Sue get to their maximum level. And this one is just basically a conclusion to the whole Ryan sees Mary Sue as a big sister thing. Funnily enough, you don't actually know anything about their mother and father. Not even their name. For some reason, at this point, Ryan is, although he doesn't quite act like him, he's starting to remind me of, I don't know, Rolf in a way, and coming from a family and caring for his sibling and stuff. Except it's not quite to the... His family's not quite to the extent of 3 brothers. And he does act very different from Rolf. Oh, wait, you're gonna invite Mary Sue to come live with you? That may not be such a good idea. Please hope she doesn't invite her harem over. Anyway, for that, for every 3rd support conversation, you gain an actual physical item. The bond items basically function the same way as those temporary stat boosting potions you get out of How's Everyone. They give a +2 boost to 1 stat for 1 chapter, and you can keep them for whenever you need them. And you don't have to give them to one of the support partners. You can use them whenever you want. So actually, that's really the only gameplay reward of supports in this game. Speaking of which, this one sheds a little bit more light into Catria. Now, if you're particularly savvy, you can probably guess what her secret and her character's motivation is from this conversation here. Admire? No, I'm not sure it's that basic. I think she feels a little bit more than that. Anyway, the truth will come out in their final conversation. Oh, and this one. Okay, so as if there could be any doubts, it plays this theme. Yes, the Proud Commander. This theme was the theme of someone who's totally not this guy. Oh no. No, that guy didn't wear a mask. This guy does wear a mask. They're completely different characters. Obviously. No, it doesn't matter that they have the same theme, that they're both paladins of some renown. Hey, you know what? Okay, let's just put this into the hint. Even Mary Sue can completely see through this guy. Like honestly, yeah. If you can tell this right just from looking at him, yeah, he's not doing a very good job of disguising himself. Sorry. Especially considering the theme that's playing in the background now. Speaking of which, Proud Commander count is now at 3. It will get higher, trust me. Although this support takes a very interesting turn here. Looks as though Mary Sue is so suspicious of Marth that, she's actually gonna fight Sirius, which may not be such a good idea, actually. Because, yeah, as Sue-ish as you are, Sirius is pretty awesome, and, yep, gone. Sorry, fail. By the way, blunt and support ends. That was a support, apparently. Oh, by the way, regarding that use of the statement blunt strike, I found it kind of interesting. That refers to hitting someone with the blunt end of your sword, obviously. Fighting to knock them out rather than actually kill them. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because, you know, in the Pokemon games, the move False Swipe, an attack that always leaves the target with at least 1 HP if it would otherwise faint them? Yes, in Japanese, that move is referred to as Blunt Strike. Yes, in the Japanese version, and the name actually makes an awful lot more sense, actually. I actually honestly don't know what they were even trying to imply with False Swipe. In the Japanese version, the move implies striking someone with the blunt end of a sword, deliberately holding back so as not to kill them. Yep, so, in case you're wondering, obscure Pokemon trivia in a Fire Emblem game, yep, that's where the Pokemon move False Swipe comes from. But anyway, here's Marth and Sheeta, but this is just pretty typical. Marth's all like, for some reason he doesn't bring up the fact that they're engaged at this point, but, he seems to have offended Sheeta a bit by insisting that she should, go in the rear like any weak and helpless love interest should, when she can actually fight too. But I don't know, I mean, you can't really blame him. I guess, you know, it's war, and, you know, he doesn't want to see his fiancée die. Anyway, now, I believe it's time for some drill grounds. Or, not actually. In fact, actually, wait a minute, it seems as though I am probably going to start the actual, chapter really soon. So, here is the plan. I will walk you through the plan like this. Firstly, Catria has enough of a rank to use Aaron's Silver Lance. Catria takes the Silver Lance. Secondly, Sheeta goes into the party. You'll find out why later. Also, Proud Commander counts, ding, 4. And this is the bit I was referring to. Some of the previous cases, yeah, you could say, yeah, the Proud Commander did kind of fit. This case, no. This scene does not fit here at all, in the slightest. And this pissed me off so much. It's like, why? Okay, these two, Caesar and Rad, they're neither proud, nor are they commanders. And, oh, come on, you use it for these guys. Okay, I'm just gonna rage if I go on anymore, I'm sorry. This is the one thing I don't like about this game, the blatant overuse of the Proud Commander. Anyway, it seems these guys are working for the hard end just to get gold in order to save, quote, her, unquote. And apparently we learn a bit of backstory. Caesar has a sister. This was never alluded to in Shadow Dragon or in the original Marth games at all. She is somehow captured. Now, you know how Rad is saying that he'll do it for his interest too? Remember back in Shadow Dragon where Rad's ending said he fell in love during the war? Yes, the girl he fell in love with was Caesar's sister. Caesar's unnamed, non-appearing in this game sister. So, yeah, bit of backstory on the both of them there. And now, cuts to the villain ominous scene. Now, one thing is weird about this. If they're using Marth's allies in the previous war, doesn't that seem weird? Wasn't Klein's job to kill Marth's allies from the previous war? I don't know, maybe they think, well, they can be useful at this point. Or, you know, Klein is probably planning on killing them after this anyway. So, let's recruit them first. To do this, okay, now notice them both there. We don't want them to attack us. What we're going to do is, we're going to make sure this chapter ends before they even get a chance to fight. By taking down Roro'd. This will be accomplished by flying Catria up to where he is, and attacking with the Silver Lance. Tearing Shadows' back, yes. Right, now, provided that Catria doesn't miss, this will probably kill Roro'd. And it did. But I thought that people died if they were killed. The resemblance to a fate line there is probably coincidental. Anyway, Sheeta was the backup plan in case Katria missed one of her attacks. If Katria were to miss, Sheeta would come in and finish the job with her wing spear. Unfortunately, I did have several practice runs where Sheeta missed both attacks with her wing spear, even when only one attack was needed to kill. That was frustrating. It probably contributed to me being really pissed off that day. Yeah, I did not have good luck recording this. This was basically my third attempt at this plan. This plan requires a bit of luck to do. Mostly if Katria gets unlucky and misses too much, or if Sheeta gets really unlucky, yeah. Now, here is the second phase of the plan. I need to teleport Marv to that space between the two fighters. That space specifically, and only that space. That space would give Marth enough movement to cross the river and reach the castle on this turn. But, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to get some kills while we're at it. These are the only kills we'll be getting this chapter. In order to ensure Marth ends up there, the space you actually are teleported to with the rescue star is actually kind of random. But in order to make sure Marth ends up there, I'm going to rig this so that's the only spot Marth can end up, by blocking off every other square next to that spot where Militia is. That ensures that Marth will always end up right where I want him. Now, he can simply cross the river and see. And there you have it. Chapter 6X completed in one turn. For doing so, we get a conversation here with Caesar and, well, I would say Rad, but I don't think Rad's in this conversation. Kill me or whatever is a weird request. Anyway, Marth is of course going to hire them. You know, you couldn't have characters returning from the previous game and they wouldn't be recruited. Of course, this conversation doesn't occur. If you kill even one of the two, neither of them will join. Well, at least that's the best of my knowledge. And, like I said, the best way to make sure that happens is to finish this chapter in one turn. So basically, Caesar is saying, yeah, that he's appreciating your friendliness. Except though, at the end of the day, they're hired swords, they need money. Of course, Caesar needs money for a very good reason. Apparently he needs money to rescue his sister for some reason. I guess that makes more sense if you see his supports. I haven't seen his supports, because I don't really use either of them personally. But anyway. And Mary Sue here, Mary Sue actually gives a surprisingly logical argument. Yeah, so this, interestingly enough, she very logically argues that at this point they don't have a choice. Arcadia's not going to pay them because they failed. And so really, the only way they're going to find employment is to go with us. At least we will be able to pay them in the future. Yeah, so basically we just argued them into joining us. That was actually a pretty nice one, Mary Sue. So basically, they're going to join, and that means I'm going to have to talk about their stats. And so the mercenaries, Caesar and Rad, are on our side once again. Neither of them actually appeared in the original Mystery of the Emblem, so I've really got nothing to compare them to. However, like in Shadow Dragon, Caesar does suffer from comparisons to Ogma, and just like in that game, he's pretty much just a poor man's substitute. Despite starting at the exact same level, his base stats are all equal to or worse than Ogma's, with the exception of luck. And given that Ogma has a much better luck growth, in fact it's twice as high, that's not really saying much. Ogma's still going to have better luck in general. So, well, yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, there's not much to say here. When you've got Ogma, why bother with this guy? I mean, that's not to say that he's actually bad. I mean, he's not terrible, it's just that he's not Ogma, and Ogma is pretty amazing. I mean, I guess if you wanted two heroes, then maybe you could consider using him. But I mean, other than that, unless you're just deliberately deciding not to use Ogma because you don't want to use the more popular characters, then it's probably not a good idea to use this guy. I mean, it's a shame. He's not bad by any means. He's just not as good as Ogma is. His partner, Rad, actually suffers from the same problem. He's not bad by any means. In fact, he's actually really good, and he's certainly looking very, very good compared to Samto back in the last chapter. Ugh. But he's still not the best Myrmidon we can get. And considering that the best one joined in the very next chapter, yeah, it's kind of sad for Rad. To put it in perspective though, Rad actually does have better strength than this guy I am referring to as the mysterious Myrmidon who will be joining us next chapter, who I'm pretty sure you all know who he is. But anyway, Rad does actually have better strength, and yeah, so he's got that going for him at least. He's also got better HP. However, unlike in the original Shadow Dragon, Rad doesn't have that Magikarp power he used to. I mean, back then, he started at level 1, but he had very good growths, and he had surprisingly high defense for a Myrmidon, which sadly he's lost now. His defense is actually nothing special now, which is such a shame because he used to really have that going for him. So, Rad is good. I mean, he's actually very good, and if it weren't for this other guy, I would certainly recommend using him. Sadly, the other guy does unfortunately exist, and that's gonna make things hard on poor Rad here. This mysterious other guy does in fact have much better base stats in general too. That's probably the one area where Rad suffers, because his growths are pretty good in general. And his luck, in particular, could be very good if it weren't for the fact that the base was just so low. But, sadly for Rad, yeah, he's not bad, and certainly he's actually very good. He's probably better than Caesar's, actually. But unfortunately, he's not the best we can do for Myrmidons. Better than Samto, but, well, you'll see. I apologise in advance when I said that this video would be 18-ish minutes long. I didn't take into account Caesar and Rad's character thing. But here's a very interesting conversation. There's Roro'd. Why are you still alive? Apparently, his clone got killed back there. Yep, cloning is involved in this game. And here's where things start getting pretty strange. When you see this, you'll probably be thinking, what? I know I certainly was when I first played this game. This will become apparent when we fight Roro'd for the final time later. Until then, just be reassured that Roro'd himself is just as confused as you are.